Hey, my name is Pascal, and in this video I want to be talking to you about 2 free gifts, basically, that come out of this ReadWith app that I've built for creating reading groups and recording your reading notes and sharing them with friends. But the free gifts relate to this whole problem of having too many books and having problems deciding which book to read next, and all that guilt built around that problem, basically. So let's look at those 2 free gifts. I'm going to be talking about the first one in a minute and the second one further down in the video. Okay, so what are those gifts? So with ReadWith, the point is that you get your people to read, you take the lead, you organize reading groups, or it's a place for you to assemble your reading notes. This is my ReadWith account. I'm in dark mode in this case, and I've got some books. The one I'm reading right now is called Chatter, and it's pretty good. About let's just say the things that are going on inside your mind and sort of those ruminations and those that background track of thoughts and what to do with that. So that's a good book. I'm reading it by myself, but there's some other books that I've read in groups. It doesn't really matter here. What you'll see is that I've got these books. Really, those are notebooks for each of the books that I'm reading. They're organized on a shelf, and I've chosen the color red. There's some other colors. I'll get into that in a second. But I really like how they're laid out over here. And I've also got a place for archived books that are like, well, don't really want them on a shelf anymore. Okay. So with all this, you have access to your notes, etc., and the other people that you're reading with are on the left. I wanted to have a place where I could kind of decide, what do I do when a book is finished? When I'm done with a book, what do I do with a book that I abandoned, that I don't like anymore? What do you do with books you want to keep around because they're kind of like totems, right? They're trophies of things that you've really enjoyed. And this idea of having shelves made it kind of easy and kind of interesting. And so that's basically the core idea here on this very private page. This is only you that sees this page here of your private collection of notebooks on the books you've read. And this is basically how I do it, is that the first shelf is for the books that I'm currently reading, and the second shelf is for those books that I really enjoyed. I might want to look at my notes again, and some of those books are worth rereading sometime soon. Basically, this one, The Practice by Seth Godin, I read it twice, like 18 months apart, and I'm reading it with my past self, which is like amazing. I see how I've progressed over the years, and some of the things that are always going to be the same, and it's really great. So, and also some books I've read with some friends recently that I want to keep the notes around because they're still relevant. Those are like kind of like insights that I've got. And on the third shelf are books that I've maybe are going to be reading soon, or I want to keep around, but they're not really sure what to do about that, but I want to keep them kind of close. But you can add as many shelves as you want, and you can organize it however you want. So that's basically the idea. And on all plans of ReadWith, every user of ReadWith gets to be able to create these shelves and organize the books that they have without having to add any notes. Those are basically placeholders for your to read soon, etc. So very quickly, let's jump into a other person's, let's, like, this is a test account for Simon, let's say. And Simon is reading Hidden Potential with Jordan. In particular, Jordan has a note ahead, and when adding a note, we'll get to be able to see Jordan's note. And there's some goals, etc. And this is an active book that Simon is reading. Now, what about the other ones? So let's rearrange, okay? First of all, I'm going to hide this, this note. I'm not going to use it anymore. And I'm going to add a shelf below, and I'm going to start putting these other books on the second shelf. And the dip is going to be right over here. Oh, I'm going to put it over there. Okay. And so like this, and it turns out the So Good They Can't Ignore You, I'm done with that one. And that's going to be going into the archives. Okay. Now, that's basically all there is to it. And it offers you the ability to also put things on a second sort of stack that is also available. And there's also a way for you to add notes. So you'll add the note here, and say you wanted to add a quote, for example, from something else. So you can edit this note and change it to adding another note. This is a quote, author, book, or something like that. And so that makes it kind of nice. You can sort of dress up each of these shelves with like a note in the back. So I'm going to just hide this for now. So again, this is basically how it works. But now let's go into another place where same kind of idea, but I've got like a lot of books, and I want to move them around a little bit. This is sort of disorganized. Again, the same idea. I'm going to add a shelf, and I'm going to be dragging things around like this. Okay. And put this on the shelf over here too. And so you got like a way to organize and to drag things into the archives like this. And it's sort of a great way to say, these are the books that I'm reading now. These are the books that I really like to keep around, and maybe some other ways that you want to organize this. And that's basically the first free gift, is that notebooks are sort of those placeholders for creating the list of what you wanted to read next, what you wanted to commit to soon. And it's independent of all these other places where you've got books that don't really have that functionality. In this place you do. And it's also the place where you keep all of your notes on the books that you read. It's just one really great little place. Okay, so that's the first gift, is that all accounts of ReadWith have this ability to have this private place with those bookshelves. The second gift is that I wrote a book. It's called Unread Bookshelf. And although you can buy it here if you'd like, but if you sign up for ReadWith, and if you sign up for right now as a wait list, you can get the book for free. And the book is interesting because it is short. You're probably going to finish it. And it has a bunch of small essays, 15 essays, that touch on guilt, that touch on making new decisions, that talk about, the pleasure of reading something and having an insight, and what you do when you learn. You have this sort of story arc when you learn something new, and it gets you back into a pleasure state where you're not just consuming content on a feed or whatever. You're really taking the time to read a book and getting the pleasure out of it, maybe learning it with some other people. So this book is for those situations when you're deciding to say, well, I've got too many books. I need to start rediscovering my relationship with reading and learning in a new way, and this book is for that. And that's going to help as well to sort of make new decisions on the books you want to read, pairing the book with the app itself. And I would say this is kind of a third benefit of a third free gift, is that when you get access to this book, you also get access to my reading notes. So, and you can join a one-on-one reading with me, and you'll get access to my reading notes behind the book. So it'll be a one-on-one sort of reading. You'll be able to get a feel of how ReadWith works, and so you'll be able to see this note right at the beginning, and as you read and as you add your notes, you'll be able to get some new reading notes from me having written the book. And so really 2 gifts is really 3, and I hope that you give ReadWith a try, and you can sign up to the wait list, and after it's going to be made available. It's no longer going to be a wait list, it's going to be an announcement list for things that are up and new in ReadWith. Hope this was useful, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.